All right, so we got some pretty interesting stuff going on inside of Bitcoin right now. We're just going to jump straight into it. Remember, I'm not a financial advisor. None of this is financial advice. But let's talk about this. So, right now, Bitcoin is priced at 51.795K. And this is pretty much 52K, right? Or 51.8K. That's what we can say here. So, if we're around 51.8K here in Bitcoin, we're actually almost to $52,000. We had major resistance at $52,000. And check out my previous videos I've been talking about here with Bitcoin. But if you actually look at where our next point of resistance is, it's $52,000. So once we pass that, we'll have little to no resistance back to our all-time high. And I'll show you exactly what I mean by that. So our $52,000 resistance actually brought us all the way up here. So that's pretty interesting to look at. If you look all the way up here with Bitcoin, $52,000 is pretty much what we're looking at. So if $52,000 is that next major resistance, and we're literally about to break that right now, and how I found that is if you come back here, you can actually see our last previous resistance level, $58,000. So that's exactly what we're looking at right now. So 58K is the level that we're trying to get to right now, and we're pretty much almost past that. And once we pass that, the next area of resistance for Bitcoin is going to bring us back to our all-time high. Now you can say it's going to be right before our previous all-time high, which is pretty much what it was last time. Like 65K, give or take, was that area that we were talking about before. But 65K to 69K is going to come after 52K. And the problem with this, if we pretty much have this happen here inside of Bitcoin, then we're probably going to see like some huge movements like from now till then. And if we don't have the momentum to do that big push upwards, then what you're going to end up seeing here for Bitcoin is going down from where we are now. If we cannot use that momentum to push further up here in Bitcoin, we'll probably see that drop coming in pretty soon. So that's what we got to watch out for. And if you actually look over here on the RSI on the bottom, you can actually see it kind of looks like we're about to cross downwards to the bottom here. That's what it looks like. I mean, it could be wrong because, it does that quite often where it looks like it's about to go down, but it kind of goes up a little bit more, just like how it did back here on the RSI. Looked like it was about to go down. It started going down on the RSI, but as it was going down on the RSI, it was increasing here with the price of Bitcoin, and it kept doing that. So if the same thing could happen again where it starts to go down on the RSI, right? But the price of Bitcoin continues to rise. And that is because if you look at the last time when it did that, when it went down on the RSI, it actually immediately rose back up on the RSI. So it shows that it was going down on the RSI, but as it was going up with Bitcoin, it was really only doing that because the momentum was slow but steady. So if we have slow but steady momentum on this next path, like this, like a stair step, then you can see it going down on the RSI, but you'll see it immediately going back up because it's actually going slow and steady upwards. So that's just showing on the RSI that has a loss in momentum, but it's still increasing in price, even though the momentum has slowed down. Because as you can see here, this is straight upward momentum. This is like no downward movements, just straight upwards. So if the momentum slows down, technically on the RSI will go down because the momentum has slowed down with it, but the price can continue to rise because it's doing that stair step method. So that's what we could see coming up here with Bitcoin. Now, another theory here that we could have with Bitcoin, like I was saying, if we do pass this area here, it's probably going to be an immediate increase in price. So if we pass 52K, we might see us going immediately up to 60K. Now, what comes after 52K? Where is our resistance after this 52K line? Well, you could say it's right here, and that's around 58K because, we had 52K here, right, that we were talking about. And then the next one you could say is 58K because that's kind of where we were previously, around the 2021 areas here. That's where we were there. Or you can say it was where we tried to create our previous all-time high around, 14th of April, 2021, somewhere around there, which is the 58K area. Or you can say that we're just going to go straight up to our previous all-time high. Me personally, what I'm saying here is if we are to break 52K and break above that, I see an almost immediate rise back up to our all-time high, closer to 60 to 69K. If we break 52K, I truly believe we will almost immediately get to anywhere between 60 to 69K if we can break 52K. So that could happen. But after that happens, we will probably see a big drop from there. That's just what I believe personally. Or if we don't have enough momentum to break 52K, we're probably going to see that big drop coming in now, which is what the RSI is showing. So there's always multiple scenarios that can happen in the crypto market. No one ever knows 100% what's going to happen. If they ever tell you they know 100% what's going to happen, then they're probably lying to you. But, that's what we got going on right now here for the market. Now, looking at the 1 week chart here, you can actually see the RSI is slowly but surely still increasing. So this could make the argument that we're probably going to end up getting up to our all-time high, like I mentioned before, and possibly even breaking that all-time high. That's what the 1 week chart here pretty much recommends. And if you look at the indicators here, it's pretty much showing that, yeah, we could have another huge jump, but we've never had the huge drop inside of this current bull market. This current bull market started right before the new year started, right? So from the New Year's till now has been our current bull market. So this is interesting. And actually, if you really want to talk about it, maybe from the 2023 New Year's, we can say that it's been the actual bull market, because our current New Year is actually this level right here. This around this point right here is our current New Year, and we've kind of been up since the New Year's. So let's be honest, we've been up since the New Year's, and that's this level right here. But if you really want to talk about it, I think we've been in a bull market since January 1st, 2023. And that was since 15K. Like, we dropped all the way down to like 15K, and we've been just up since there. We've had occasional pullbacks, went up a lot, pulled back, went up a lot, pulled back, went up a lot, pulled back. And now we are just up since about October, and we have not pulled back hard since October. So I'm really waiting for this next pullback, because I think the next pullback might be a little bit ugly, and I don't think people are ready for that. People are FOMOing into the market, and I think we're probably going to get another drop. And yeah, personally, I think we're going to go from where we are, get up to 52K, possibly get past 52K, possibly up to 60K. But whenever we get that drop, it's going to be big, and people are not going to be prepared for it. And like I said, I'm using the chart prime indicators. Definitely check that out if you want to. Link is inside of the description. But according to the chart prime indicators, as you can see here, we are going through the momentum wave bands at the top resistance area. Usually when we hit the top of the momentum wave band, we break out of it just a little bit more, which we kind of already did when we broke out of it here. We kept going, broke out of it a little bit more, kind of kept going. It's possible that it can keep going, but it's also possible that when it finally does reach 52K, which it's pretty much already at 51.8K, we're pretty much going to be past 52K after I drop the video. Like, once it passes 52K, if it doesn't continue to pump like huge and just go straight up to like 60K, 58K to 60K, then we're probably going to see that big drop I've been talking about. And that could be, and pretty much this could constitute that whole thing right here. And that's pretty much where our RSI crosses here at the top. So that's what we're watching out for. I think the big drop could actually be happening once we get past 52K, closer to moving upwards from there. We could have a huge drop after that. So we're going to see exactly what happens, and I will keep you all updated. I will keep you all posted on that. As for the shorter term time frames, this is the 15M chart. If you actually look at that, we're getting closer to the top of it again. And what this is kind of showing us is we crossed on the RSI here at the top, which is all this. Like, we got all the way up here on the RSI, crossed at the top, kind of went down from there a little bit, but now we're back at where we were before. Major resistance at 52K. It just does not want to pass it. We hit 52K a little bit briefly, but we went back down. So like I said, 52K is major resistance. If we do not pass 52K, we're probably going to have a big drop downwards back down to 48K if we can't pass 52K. If we can pass 52K, then it's probably going to be an almost immediate rise up to 58 to 60K. So that's pretty much what we're looking at here with the market. That's pretty much how things are going here with Bitcoin, and I will keep you all updated on that. But beyond that, I mean, we're doing pretty good, up 4.6% in the last 24 hours on Bitcoin. 17% in the last 7 days, 22% in the last 14 days, 21% in the last 30 days, 132.6% in the last year. So we're doing pretty good there. And a lot of money is flowing in through Bitcoin through these ETFs. So $631 million enters Bitcoin ETFs as price cracks 50K. BlackRock leading the charge. So BlackRock is putting lots of money in through these ETFs, and that's pretty big. Now, a lot of people are probably going to look at this like that has nothing to do with anything, because if you think about it, $631 million in the grand scheme of things when it comes to Bitcoin is really nothing. And it honestly is nothing if you kind of look at it. We have a whole $1 trillion in market cap in Bitcoin. What is $631 million? Like, it's nothing. Let's be honest. It's really nothing, because if you compare it to what's inside of Bitcoin, like maybe if it was like $10 billion, all right. But eventually, it's going to get up to being that $10 billion amount. And that's what we want to watch out for. BlackRock total has 493 million of those dollars. Fidelity having 163.6 million of those dollars. That's a lot of money, but compared to what the whales are doing, that's not a lot. I've been whale watching recently, and if you look at what the whales are doing, $103.5 million sold out of Bitcoin today. That's a lot of money. That's like a quarter of what is being put in through these ETFs just by one whale selling out. So the money being put in through these ETFs through people's retirement plans that they're building and stuff like that, that money is being sold out now by the whales, because these whales haven't seen gains like this in a very long time. So now they're starting to sell. So that's what you got to pay attention for. This whale here, the last time they did a significant purchase was in 2020 at $118 million, 22,000 Bitcoin pretty much at $118 million. They bought when Bitcoin was cheap. They bought when Bitcoin was $5,100 and they spent $118 million. Now, since then, they just now sold the 24th of January this year, $280 million worth. Listen to what I just said. They came in with $118 million in 2020, bought Bitcoin at $5,000 in 2020, $118 million worth of Bitcoin. They just now sold out a little bit of the Bitcoin, only 7,000 of the Bitcoin, mind you. They bought 22,000 Bitcoins. They sold out 7,000 of the Bitcoins for double the amount of what they purchased for, over double the amount of what they purchased for. $280 million is what they sold out. And they still have $822 million in Bitcoin. They only started this Bitcoin journey with $118 million. They've already realized $280 million of those gains earlier in this year, inside of January 2020 or January of 2024, on the 24th, $280 million. So they're already in huge profits now, and they have another $822 million to sell. And they started this journey with $118 million. So these whales that haven't seen gains in a long time are now seeing these gains. These whales are the ones selling now. This means that the drop that we could have could be big. This whale alone holds a lot of Bitcoin. So just imagine what could happen to the Bitcoin price if all these whales start dumping some of their Bitcoin. Now, all of them aren't going to dump all of their Bitcoin. They're only going to dump some of it. Like this whale right here. This whale right here has been dumping Bitcoin daily. Like, they've been going hard with dumping their Bitcoin. Like, they've been selling a lot of Bitcoin. So this has been happening a lot. You know, this whale came in $506 million inside 2023 at 28K Bitcoin. And now, how much do they have after selling almost all of their Bitcoin already? $772 million worth of Bitcoin. And they only came into the game with $506 million. And then they've been buying a little bits by the here and there, but they've been selling way more than they've been buying. This shows you that these whales are having so much gains that selling off some of their Bitcoin is not going to hurt them, because they expect the price to go down, because they know all the other whales are going to be selling as well. So we could be seeing a big drop in the price. That's just what I'm predicting here. Remember, I'm not a financial advisor. None of this is financial advice. If you want these automated trading indicators, you can definitely check out the link in the description. For Chart Prime, go ahead and elevate your trading game. Trading Simplified. It makes it very easy. Tells you when to buy. Tells you when to sell. If you would have bought back here on the 7th of February, when it told you to buy, you would be up huge. And that is just 1 week of growth. It still hasn't told us to sell yet, though. So wait for that sell signal. So whenever that sell signal comes, it usually comes after a little bit has went down. and then kind of went back up. So after it kind of did a dead cat bounce, quote unquote, because it's not really a dead cat bounce, but after it does a movement like that, that's kind of like a head and shoulder type movement, that's when it kind of tells you to sell. When it goes down, it goes up, and then right before it goes down again, it tells you to sell, because it's like, okay, and it does this every time. Over here, down, up, right before it tells you to sell again, goes down. Down, up, right before it tells you to sell again, goes down. Down, up, right before, goes down. It does it every single time. That's pretty much how they track the movements here. So it'll go down here, and then it will go up here, and then it'll tell you to sell. If that's going to be the next movement, it will tell you to sell right there. So that's why I like these indicators. If you want to get them though, Chart Prime, link in the description. Very, 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 very easy to use. Comes with a lot of different things. You get the market oracle, you get the market dynamics, the prime oscillator. I like to use the RSI over the prime oscillator, just to be honest. Like, I just prefer it a lot more. I can read it a lot easier. But everything else, very, very good. Very cheap as well. Premium monthly, $67 a month. You get a discount if you want to do the yearly one. So it's pretty cheap. Definitely check it out. Link in the description. And as always, I'll be back with another video.